Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Radiance Central, and I'm your host Natasha St. Michael, and thank you so much for joining me. So today I'm going to show you how to make fresh coconut ice cream. Super easy and delicious. At the end of the video I'm also going to show different ways of serving it up, because we make a plain unsweetened coconut ice cream, and then you can either have it plain or you can have it with sliced up fruit, or my favorite, you can actually have it with coconut palm sugar syrup. And in tomorrow's video, I'll actually show you how to make that homemade syrup, because it's super easy and it's a really nice touch to add to the coconut ice cream. All right, so let's get started. So all we're gonna need is coconut cream, fresh coconut cream, not coconut milk, but coconut cream. Super, super important. And I've done 2 videos showing how to make fresh coconut cream, how to express it from fresh coconut meat. Either you can juice it or you can grate the fresh coconut meat and soak it and then take the coconut cream from there. Go to radiancecentral.com and go and look at those videos if you don't know how to make fresh coconut cream. You'll need a blender. Now, the most important part of this recipe is the coconut cream needs to be cold. It cannot be at room temperature and it cannot be warm. It must be cold. So either after you've made the coconut cream, you either put in the refrigerator for a few hours or you put in the freezer for a half an hour to an hour. One way or another, it has to be super cold. You're gonna need a blender. A high-speed blender, the better. And if you want, you can sweeten it. And if you are gonna sweeten it, you need to sweeten it at this stage of the process of making the coconut ice cream. Personally, I don't sweeten it because I find coconut cream to actually have a natural sweetness to it. It's not super sweet, but I like it how it is. And what I like to do is actually drizzle coconut palm sugar syrup over my coconut ice cream at the end. And I'll show you how I do that. Tomorrow's video, I'll actually show you how to make the coconut palm syrup, okay, a homemade recipe. Very, very easy to make it. And so I just like to put a little sweetness on top of it, or I like to actually have the coconut ice cream plain with cut up fruit, and I'll show you that at the end of the video as well. If you want as well, you can put in some spice. You can put in some fresh vanilla bean, or you can add in some cinnamon. And if you do want to sweeten the coconut ice cream, then at this point you would add in either honey or coconut palm syrup or maple syrup, any liquefied sweetener. Okay, so what you would do is first put in the chilled coconut cream into the blender, and then you would add in your sweetener. I'm not adding in a sweetener because I like it as is, and I just want to show you how to make it plain. You're then going to put the blender on. So I just blended this for about 30 seconds, and as you can see, it's totally thick. So that's pretty much what happens, is that once you put chilled coconut cream into the blender, is it starts thickening up into sort of like a soft serve ice cream. Very, very easy. And then the next step we would do is actually to chill it a little bit longer so that it solidifies. Here is our coconut ice cream served up into a glass container. We're now going to transfer it very quickly into the freezer so that it solidifies even more into sort of a more denser ice cream. Because right now it's the consistency of between, I would say, soft serve ice cream and yogurt. It's that in between. I'll just show you with the spoon what I'm talking about. You know, that it's not liquid, but it's not completely solid. And now we want to make it solid by putting it in the freezer. So you're going to put a lid on it and put that in the freezer. Here's our coconut ice cream, and it's been in the freezer for an hour. I just want to show you that it is solid. Okay, like if I put it upside down, nothing's actually going to fall out, nothing's going to drip out or pour out. It's a solid thing of ice cream. I'll use a spoon to show you what I mean. So this is it. It is ice cream. It's pretty much, I would say, the consistency would be probably harder than a soft serve, but not hard like a Haagen-Dazs, not where you need to really break into it. If you want the ice cream to be even more hard and more solid, you leave it in the freezer longer. But the one thing that I want to just warn everyone is that if you leave this in the freezer like overnight, it's going to get too hard. And I'll show you an example. This is what the ice cream would look like if it was left in the freezer overnight. It would just become too solid. You'd have to eat this with a fork and knife, literally. Okay, so You want to not leave this in the freezer for longer than 3 to 5 hours. After that, it's just too solid. I now want to show you a few ways of serving this up. You can serve it up plain, as is, or you can drizzle coconut palm syrup over it, and I'm going to show you tomorrow how to make this super fabulous coconut palm syrup. Or you can have it plain over chopped up fruit. Super simple, right? A few things though that I want to mention, 2 things I want to emphasize. The first thing is the coconut ice cream must be eaten either immediately or within a few hours. The thing about coconut cream, when you make it fresh, it goes sour very quickly. So it's not something you can store in your fridge for a few days. It needs, if you're going to make the ice cream out of it, you need to eat it that day. And the second thing is that you need to store it in the fridge. The thing with the coconut ice cream is that the longer you leave it in the freezer, the harder it gets. As you saw in the video, is that if you leave it like overnight, it's going to be hard as a rock, and you're literally going to need to eat it with like a knife and fork. It'll still melt in your mouth very smoothly, but it'll be very difficult to eat if it's that hard. So once you kind of get it to sort of the texture that you want it, if you want it to be sort of a soft serve ice cream or you want it to be harder ice cream, once it gets there, remove it from the freezer and put it in the refrigerator. Therefore, it'll stay at the same texture. It will not melt in the refrigerator. And then keep it chilled until you're going to eat it. Also, too, I want to mention is that I showed you the coconut palm sugar syrup. I will be doing a video tomorrow showing how to make it. It's homemade. It's so easy to make, and it's a nice complement to that ice cream because the ice cream isn't sweetened. So some people might want something a little bit more sweet as a treat, and you can make the coconut palm sugar syrup for that. And the coconut palm sugar syrup, it's very kind of nutty. It kind of tastes like a mixture of caramel to butterscotch, and so it's great. This is a great non-dairy, fresh, homemade, easy dessert to make. All right, so do check out tomorrow's video on how to make the syrup. Have a super fabulous day, everyone, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.